What is good, everyone? Jerry Trades here, back on another video. Today's going to be our market review, market recap for today. So today was obviously, was a pretty good day, price action wise for shorts, right? But I know some people were looking for longs, and I was actually personally looking for longs as well. But luckily, I was able to identify when my bias was wrong and to flip bearish, right? So coming into the day, I was obviously bullish, right? Because Tuesday, we had us take into this 4 hour. There's a 4 hour fair value gap here. We sweep out Asia lows, and then we have a 1 hour change in the state. On ES, on the other hand, as well, we did get the change in the state delivery on ES as well. But that's basically why I was bullish for the day. So coming into the day, right, if we were truly bullish, right, Wednesday, our daily profile should respect to this low, right? So coming into the day, I was obviously bullish, right? And when I came onto the charts, I was like, okay, this actually makes a lot of sense, right? Because when we had Tuesday's low, this is our weekly range low, right? So this is where our weekly range is. We have Monday's high, which is right here, which is our weekly range high. So initially, Monday's high was protected, right? As you can see, we displaced lower from it, right? So this was protected. Now, since we have two sides of the marketplace, right? We have a low and a high. We have to understand where price is likely to go, right? Because both of these highs can't be protected, right? If we're going to expand, right? Eventually, one of these high, either this high or this low, will be taken, right? And which side are we going to do? So which side do you think the market is most likely to protect, right? Because just because something was protected before, right, because this used to be a protected high, doesn't mean that price will always protect it, right? Price will eventually take this out, right? So I'm wondering which side of the market is price most likely to defend, and how does price defend protected highs or lows? Well, they protect it by expanding in the opposite direction and creating more protected highs or lows away from it, right? So coming into the day with that idea, right, looking at which side of the marketplace is going to be respected, I initially thought it was going to be the upside, right? Because I thought this low was going to be protected because midnight is right here, 12 a.m. We move slightly lower, take out Asia lows, and then we get a 15-minute change in the state. Now, once again, it's not this down close candle, right? It's the series of down close candles that led us to take, a draw on liquidity, liquidity, right? So we did take out this low, we take out Asia lows, and then we move higher, right? And during London session, we move higher. Now, coming into New York session, right? As you can clearly see, as I annotated, this is obviously a New York reversal, right? Because at like 7, 8-ish, right, we come into this 1 hour civvy, we come up to it, we turtle soup this high, right, and then we displace lower. Now, initially, I did not see this as a reversal, right, because even though order flow was shifting slightly bearish, right, I thought this was going to be more of a retracement, right? What I was expecting was I expected London lows to get swept into like a turtle soup setup. So my ideal situation was these London lows getting swept into this 15-minute bullish for rally gap, right? And the reason why I was still bullish is because as long as this low is protected, there's still a pretty good chance that we move higher, right? And this could have very easily been a retracement, right? Just a kind of a deep retracement. In hindsight, I should have seen that, 8:30 manipulated higher and then lower, but 9:30 opened low, and I expected us to move lower. So I expected us to sweep out London lows, come into this 15-minute fair value gap, and then move higher. Now, so clearly this is a New York reversal, right? As you can see, we have key level, 15-minute change in the state, right? And then we had 8:30 continuation, right? 8:30 key time, right? We manipulate higher and move lower, right? But I didn't really see all of this as a reversal. I kind of saw this more as a pretty deep retracement, right? Because we're still within discount of the range, right? Because within this range, we have a premium discount, right? I thought this was just going to be retracement into pretty deep in the range for us to move higher. But once price took out this Asia low, I was like, okay, this is bearish, right? Because when I was right here in the charts, right, when this candle was like the latest candle, I saw that, okay, yeah, this is clearly a market maker sell model, right? And I saw that, like, okay, we have a reversal here, and we had London lows got taken, right, and we displaced through it. So if we were truly bullish, this low should not have been taken. That's just definition. That is just clear bullish order flow, right? These key lows that are formed below midnight opening price, where smart money is buying, should not be touched, right? Because if we are truly bullish, that means smart money actually bought there. We should not be touching this low, and we did touch it, right? So this is where I flip my bias to bearish, right? Why? Once again, we take out this low and then look at the structure afterwards, right? It's clearly bearish, right? If price was here, not here, well, if this low was still intact, even if we had all this like bearish momentum, I would just think that this would just be a Judas swing, because 930 is right here. 930 is right here. This could have easily been, just a 930 Judas, right? And then we move higher, right? But clearly that was not it. This is why it's very important for us to have clear invalidation levels of where we want to be, right? So after this, I realized that, okay, price wants to defend this high, right? It wants to defend Monday's high by creating Wednesday's high, right? So clearly this high is no longer protected, right? Because one, we create an opposing protected high, right? And two, we take out this protected low that was defending this protected low. And clearly, as you can see, we do take out this low eventually during New York session. So once again, right, quick recap is we thought this low was going to be protected. We thought this low was going to be protected even more because we had this very bullish idea, manipulation below midnight opening price, right? And then we move higher, right? But then why do we switch bearish? Well, one, we created a New York reversal. We also took out this protected low and entered bullish order flow. These key protected lows should not be taken, right? So after that, I was looking for a continuation, right? I was looking for continuation. We had a 15-minute SIBI here. We do not fill this 15-minute SIBI, but ES does on the other hand, so that's why there's SMT here. And on the lower time frame, it's just another swing point, right? So this is the high of that 15-minute SIBI. So and it's a swing point. So we have SMT here. I take the first entry off of this change in state delivery. I put it at the bodies. I get stopped out. I get wicked, and then we move lower, right? And I took a re-entry here. The reason why I took a re-entry was because, well, one, this swing high was still protected, right? And two, we got another change in state. This is a propulsion block, and I just took it right here off of the propulsion block, and basically targeted 15-minute draws on liquidity, right? So we had these 15-minute highs. 15-minute swing lows, and then on the 15-minute, oh shoot, I think it was on the 5. I guess this is actually wrong. I thought this was a no-way candle, but apparently it was. But it's basically just PM lows, basically. I target PM lows here as well. So, and then we just moved lower. It was a clean 1 to 3 risk to reward, and yeah. So that's basically the trade for today. Just understanding your idea was still valid, right? My idea was still valid because what do I want to see? I want to see us use this SMT to move lower, right? My idea was still valid because, well, one, we did not take out this high, and two, we made a propulsion block. And then my stop loss kind of went above these imbalances, right? We had a suspension block with this inversion for value gap. So I kind of put my stop somewhere above here, right? And because if we do get a small retrace, we should expect price to treat this as a BPR, right? A balanced price range. And for us to move lower, we should not be moving super high up here, right? And ideally, we see the suspension block stay open because we see pretty heavy displacement away from it. So that's why I was cool putting my stop loss there. So once again, key takeaways from today is one, understanding which side of the marketplace is price willing to defend, right? Is it lows or is it a high, right? Are we willing to defend buy side? Or are we willing to defend sell side, right? And in this case, at first we thought that we were going to defend lows, right? We were going to move bullish. We were going to be in buy program, right? Defending lows and moving higher to attack highs. But then we realized that thanks to our invalidation areas, that clearly price was not bullish, right? Because if we were truly bullish, these lows should not be touched, right? This key low should not have been touched, should not have been violated, should not have been, should not have been returned to, right? And another thing that we looked at was our daily profile, right? We can see we had our reversal up here, and we categorize this as a true reversal once this low has been taken, right? And once again, I'll say it again, if price gave us all of this, but still moved higher, right, I would see that as a retracement. So the reason why we categorize this as a reversal is because we took out this protected low, which we should have stayed. And once again, we had this protected high, right, on Monday's high, 1 hour's sweep, right, and then we had a 1 hour change in state, so we moved lower. So that's basically it. That's basically the whole reason why I was mostly, I was bullish at first, but then bearish later, right? So for tomorrow, right, it's pretty simple. My bias is pretty simple. I think we're gonna move lower. I think that's just a given. We do have news on Forex Factory. We do have news for tomorrow. We have 8:30 CPI, so that's gonna be pretty big, right? So I think the framework's gonna be pretty simple for tomorrow. It's just gonna be a pretty bearish day. I'm just gonna focus on being bearish and for us to, just to move lower. So once again, I just want to thank you guys for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.